Hey guys, Dib the Awesome here to give you another Monster Legends guides. We talk about monsters' moves, their skill sets, their runes, all that jazz. This is the last monster in my three monsters that people think are bad but are actually okay to use in Monster Legends. And today we are talking about Gullin, for the last monster of my three monsters that are a-okay. Now, I myself have also stated in the past, I will not, I will acknowledge this if you guys put it in the comments, but, or just what you guys are thinking right now is like, Dib, you thought Gullin was bad too. Uh, alright, so, uh, this is true. At first, I have thought Gullin to be bad. He is actually the first nature monster I have gotten to 100. Uh, I realized that he doesn't really do a whole lot of damage. Like he's not like whenever I use this guy, he's never really there to do a lot of damage. If anything, I use him to stun the enemy at that point. But uh, yeah, and it took me a while to really think about it. Like whenever I use Gullin and like Timor and stuff like that, he never dies. uh, Whenever like it doesn't matter the situation, he just doesn't die. I've never really had this guy die on me before, and I'm just running shitty like excuse the language by the way, but I've have him set up right now with just shitty level 3 team runes like a power rune, a life rune, and a speed rune, or it could be like a plain life rune. I don't know, but I've never had this guy die on me. Not I'm honestly telling the truth. This guy has never died on me. This guy is like yeah, he's just a meat tank. It took me a while to realize it, but he is pretty like durable and stuff like that. If the enemy NPC can't burst them down, then he stays there forever. He's really good at that. Um, Now I actually see more often than not in team wars. I have used this guy in a few fire nature team wars. Uh, and pretty interestingly enough, he actually can like take crap from the fire monsters as well. Uh, he can take some damage, but not a whole lot of damage. Obviously, like repetitious stuff. But he has been known to burst heal. He can burst heal and stuff like that. And I've actually I actually stun the fire monster. I usually take out the fire monster first. Uh, but at that point, I don't. After that, if the mon, if like if the mon, if a fire monster, if there's a fire monster, take him out first. Beyond that, I don't think they can do anything about you. Gullin has just a lot of regeneration abilities. He's got a stun skill. He can't be stunned himself, so keep that in mind. He also can't be stunned. He's got immunity to stun. But I'm gonna just talk about his stats and moves now, instead of just explaining why he's okay and why people like disregard him as being a terrible monster. So looking at his power is 3,267. This is not too unexpected from nature monsters. Nature monsters usually don't have high power unless it's coming from the judgment. Or I think there are other nature monsters too, but more commonly it's the judgment with the highest base power. But this power is meh in terms of attacking, but that's okay. This guy isn't here to attack. Uh, what he is here for is to be bulky. This guy is running a life of 31,366. This is a pretty awesome life power. It's very durable, and he really excels at regenerating it. He has a lot of regeneration abilities. Most nature monsters are known to have regeneration abilities, and they're actually really nice. They actually keep them sustained through fights. Uh, Even though their damage output is low, they do get sustainability. I want you to keep that in mind. Their main focus is sustainability through the fight. Speed is 3,388. You might think this is a bad speed. It's kind of mess speed. Uh, but yeah, this guy isn't really too focused on being faster than the enemy, because again, you're immune to stun. You do kind of want to run a speed rune at least on this guy to take advantage of his stun if you can actually stun the enemy attacker, which is really nice. But yeah, this guy's main focus is to be bulky and supportive. That's really this guy's goal. He's not there to do damage, he's there to help. Uh, so we got the Call of the Forest. This deals massive nature damage to all enemies, and it removes all negative effects from allies. This is a really nice supportive move. And it does damage in the process too, by the way. Sorry about that. But yeah, it removes all negative effects, and it does 70 damage. This is a nice ability, especially with the fact that people run poison moves and stuff like that. You should run these kind of moves. Do you need to get in there? No? Alright. But yeah, you totally want to run. No, wait, I got ahead of myself. I'm sorry. But yeah, this is Do you want to get in there? Sorry about that. It's cats again. But yeah, this is a pretty awesome ult since there's a lot of monsters, especially like nature monsters with like the possessions and stuff like that. This is a nice ability to have, or just like poison, mostly commonly poison. So yeah, this is we're going down to its like its first ability. You can. I'm gonna say this. You can run Timber Attack. It is a spammable, 50% stun. Obviously, it's not great damage. You'd more so want the stunning or a spammable stun. It's kind of a meh move. You don't have to run it, but it's just there to be there. If you wanted to, because obviously his main focus is to stay out there longer, and just being able to stun enemy or have a chance to stun the enemy is a nice thing to do. He does have a plain stun, but if you wanted to run another stun, you could do that. Again, that depends on your rune build too. Forest Flowers. This heals all targets by 30%. I actually don't even have this one on mine. Mine runs the other damage, the damaging one that just self seals them. I might actually like put this move on my Gullin. If the thing comes out, I might replace it with the damage one so that way I get like I heal everybody at that point. He's more supportive oriented, all that jazz. Healing Horns. This deals heavy nature damage. It heals by 30%. Requires cooldown. Obviously, this damage isn't high. It's no higher than the spammable stun move. And that really isn't the main focus. The main focus is it gives him 30% life back. Just like Forest Flowers. You can actually run both of these moves. You can run all the healing moves if you wanted to. But this increases his longevity, really. So you probably want to run this move. This move is pretty great. Gullin Push. This deals heavy special damage, 40 damage, pretty much, and removes all negative effects. I've never really had much of a problem whenever I've been poisoned, because again, he heals it all back. He has healing abilities, so you might not need to run this. You can run it, but you might. Odds are you don't have to run it. Wildwood Soul. This is probably a very interesting ability. Deals heavy nature damage to all enemies. May daze all targets. Keep in mind of the effect. It dazes. I know not many people like dazing, but in terms of tanking, dazing is pretty nice. Because they're doing low damage to you. They're doing lower damage to you, especially if that's stacked up with like bleeding and poison. Odds are they're just not going to do any damage to you. So that's why he's good at sponging damage. This is another reason why he's good at that, because he dazes people. He makes people do less damage, and there's a chance they might even miss too, which is not a good thing for them. Gullin Rush. Oh, this is a 3-turn cooldown move. It is like main stun move. I have this move. I like using this move on him. It's his only main like neutral damage move. I'd say totally run this move. I'd say this one's kind of a must move to run because it's a stun move. It's pretty important. Gullin Outbreak. This deals very heavy this does heavy special damage, gains regeneration. You need this move. You absolutely need this move. This is why he's such a spongy monster. You need to run this move. Run this move totally. So moves you have to run on this monster. You have to run Gullin Outbreak. You have to run Gullin Rush, and you have to run. Well, you don't have to. I guess you just need these two moves, uh, or you might not even have to run the stun move if you don't want to. It just depends on what you want it to be. But you need to for sure have Gullin Outbreak. You need this regeneration. It just keeps them alive. It keeps them out there. Uh, Now you can run him in a few ways. You can do him as mainly just straight up healing. You can have him run Gull and Outbreak. You can have him run Healing Horns, and you can have him run Forest Flowers. And you can probably another way to keep him even alive even more is to run Wildwood Soul. That's the healer set. I'm gonna say that's the healer set. It's very healing oriented. You can switch out Wildwood Soul for Golden Lush if you wanted to, but that his main goal really is just to stay out there. And he's very proficient in that. He can stay out there for a really long time, and he can heal people by 30%. Mostly all nature monsters have this. This is a nice thing, kind of. It's their kind of main dealios to heal. He's not the best at it, but he can do it. That's the thing you gotta really keep track of. So if you think about it, you're heal essentially like if you do everything. If you did uh, 20% regeneration, the you got 30% here, you got another 30 here, you're pretty much running on let's see here. 60. You're running on you pretty much regenerate 80% of your hit points over the course of, 3 turns. Uh two of them are on 2 turn cooldowns. Look at that too. That's something to really note too. Uh in fact, you can actually burst heal 50% on the first turn. Like I'm not on the first turn, but after you use Gull and Outbreak, if you follow that up with either Healing Horns or Forest Flowers, you heal 50% of your hit points back. That's a lot of percentage in terms of life. And if you just shove life runes on this monster, it's just going to be really hard for your enemy to kill you. Keep in mind you're fighting NPCs, so they don't use the best moves on you. So which is also a bonus. You're just going to be out there for a really long time. This guy works great on damage over time teams. You should totally have him on him. He's really bulky and stully. Now we can do a more damaging set. This is it. You obviously need high level runes for this. I'd say at least two high level runes. You want to run Wildwood Soul. You want to run Gullin Rush. You want to run Gullin Outbreak. And for more damage, you do Gullin Push. And that's honestly that set. If you want to do a more tankier attacker set, you do the AoE, you do Gullin Outbreak, you do Gullin Rush, and then you do either healing. You should probably do Healing Horns for that bulky, tanky attack set. For runes, for the healing set, you can honestly, this works for just across the board. You can do the extra guy build. Give him a strength rune, give him a life rune, give him a speed rune, or you can make him extremely bulky, give him 2 lives and a speed, essentially. Because that's all he really has to do, is he just stays out there. Not many people like tanking, but it's actually pretty well rounded if you actually, he doesn't ever die. He's just out there for a really long time, and the NPCs can't do anything about that. People bank on the idea that you're not running any life runes, that you're just going to be bursted down right away. If you do run a life rune on this monster, if you run life runes on the other monsters, you're going to be pretty solid. You're going to be able to heal people too. This guy's a pretty good supportive monster and sponge. He's a supportive sponge, pretty much. And that's all that really needs. Okay, I got So the runes I just said, right? Partners. Obviously, you want good damaging partners with this guy. Damage over time. Ralbog. We're talking about like Ralbog. We're talking about like Barbatos. Just something with high end damage or damage over time. Sheer damage, like damage over time if you want to. Just all that stuff. This guy can really keep things out there a long time. Keep that in mind. And you also want a denier, so things like Kalik work well with this guy. It just does. Cavern fish, just anything really. Anything that can do good control and does damage over time. Plus just sheer damage too, that works too. And that's all there really needs to be said about Gullin. Gullin's a great monster. I take back everything I have ever doubted him with. He's an okay monster. He's very bulky. Many people don't like him because he doesn't do as much damage, or he just doesn't do a whole lot of damage. His cooldowns are pretty high. Uh, he has no zero turn cooldown moves, but that's why he's bulky. He's not supposed to keep attacking and stuff like that. He's more so rotative, bulky, that jazz. He is an okay monster to use, especially in Team Wars. He is pretty much a pain in the ass in Team Wars. I love using this guy in Team War. He's really fun in that regard, too. So, yeah, that's all that really needs to be said. I'm Dib the Awesome. I'll catch you guys later.